Don't need someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away I can tell there's something's off. The way you look and how you pause when you talk, I think you said enough. You said your love for me something brand new. You said this is something you would never do. Here we are in your car, let me see who you are, who you really are, yeah. Don't need you here to say you're sorry, 'cause if you're gonna leave me then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle, no, I just gotta know. If you're gonna leave me then just do it. Let's be honest for a second.
They are all rinsed off, and now we need to grate them. So I'm going to put my grater right inside my bowl and get to grating all the carrots. Bowl full of carrots. Let's cut up the little pieces. Make sure they're all diced up pretty good so nobody gets a big bite of uncooked carrot. So we're going to mix everything right into our mixing bowl. I'm going to start with 1 cup of avocado oil. We're going to do 4 eggs. It calls for 1 3/4 cups of brown sugar. I don't have any brown sugar made, so I'm just going to put in some white sugar with a couple splashes of molasses. So there's 1 cup, half a cup, and 1/4 for 1 3/4. Generally, I do about 1 tablespoon of molasses per cup of sugar, so I'm gonna do about 1 tablespoon and then a little bit more. And we're gonna get this all mixed up together to start. It looks good, that's all mixed together. Next will be 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. I make my own blend. 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice going in, and the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of salt. Let's get that mixed up, and then we will start with our flour, baking powder, baking soda. Next, we're going to move on to the flour. I prefer to measure my flour in grams than cups. This recipe calls for 2½ cups or 300 grams. So I'm just going to take my bowl and put it on my scale. I'm going to put a bowl under here to keep it from being messy. Alright, so I'm going to get my scale turned on, get it to the grams, put Put that on, zero it out, and let's measure till we're at 300 grams. There's 192. And 300. Let's get it back on the KitchenAid. And the only thing left to measure is baking powder and baking soda. And we need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So when I am cooking, baking, I always double, triple check if it's baking powder, baking soda. I've made the mistake before and the results are not good. So we're looking for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. There's 1 and 2 and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Does anybody use these jars? They're ball, wide mouth, but they've got the gasket on the top. I like them to store my baking powder and baking soda. Easier to get into than the little containers that the baking powder and baking soda come in from the store. All right, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. All right, so looking at the recipe, those are all the ingredients. I'm going to put in 1 ingredient that isn't on the list, and we are going to put in some vanilla. Because can you go wrong putting vanilla in anything? Just a splash. And we're going to mix it slow to get all the flour incorporated. Just be careful because that flour is going to want to fly everywhere. So I like to turn it on, turn it off until it's starting to mix in. And sometimes you turn the switch in the wrong direction. All right, slow. There we go. We're going to get that all mixed up, get all the flour incorporated, and then we will use a spatula to get the carrots incorporated. That's what we're looking like. Everything's well mixed. I'm going to scrape off the beater and then get the bowl off the KitchenAid, and we'll get the carrots put in. All right, we're going to do 1 stir over with the spatula, get whatever flour is not mixed in, and then we'll get the carrots put in. That's looking well mixed. And time to add all the carrots. It's the perfect time of year to make some carrot cake if you're a gardener or if you like shopping at a farmer's market. We've had a couple of frosts, so our carrots that are still in the ground are getting to be super sweet. Sugars are developing. So let's get this mixed in, and then we'll get the pan ready. If you wanted to, you could have just added the carrots to the bowl when the KitchenAid was working. But this works for me too. Everything is incorporated, and that's the batter we're left with. Let's work on getting the pan oiled. I'm using a 9x13 pan. You could make this into layers if you wanted. For convenience, we're just going with a 9x13 pan. It is nonstick, but I'm going to grease the bottom just a little bit anyway. We'll make sure all that goodness is scraped out. Are you team lick the spoon or no? I'm team lick the spoon. That tastes delicious. All right, I'm just gonna give it a little wiggle, make sure it's flat so it bakes evenly. Some people like nuts in their carrot cake. We prefer to keep them out. I've preheated the oven to 350 and we're going to bake this for 30-35 minutes until a toothpick comes out clean. Let's get it in the oven. Let's get started with making the frosting. We need 340 grams of powdered sugar. So my powdered sugar is very clumpy, so we are going to try to get it unclumped. So it's very, very clumpy. So I'm going to see if I can put it through my sieve and see if I can get it to be nice and smooth. So putting it through the sieve, my powdered sugar is nice and fluffy. So I will just continue that with all of it. Now it's all nice and fluffy. Let's add the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to scrape down the sides so make sure it's all incorporated. Here's the frosting all finished. And here's the carrot cake that we made earlier. A little piece may have been sampled. Let's get this frosted. I've got this frosting spatula. Works really good. I like it. And just like that, we have a carrot cake with homemade cream cheese frosting. Thanks for watching.